Good morning, everybody. Just in the last period, just we have studied the format of profit and loss account and balance sheet. I hope that you have studied and memorized total number of 16 schedules. Just repeat once again for your sake. Number one, share capital. Two, reserves and surpluses. Three, deposits. Four, borrowings. Five, other liabilities and provisions. Six, cash and balance with RBI. Seven, balance with banks, money at call and short notice. Eight, investment. Nine, advances. 10, fixed assets. 11, other assets. And outside the balance sheet, contingent liabilities and bills for collection. Okay, I hope you all have studied or memorized these 12 schedules of balance sheet. And now let's we turn to profit and loss account. Profit and loss account consisting of total four main headings. Number one, income. Roman 1, income, which is consisting of two schedules. Interest on schedule number 13, other income schedule number 14. And second heading, expenditure, which is consisting of two schedules. 15 number, interest expended, 16 operating expenses. And below operating expenses, provisions and contingencies, very important, just I have discussed in detail in the last two periods. In the form of one short note, the other in the form of this format of profit and loss account. This provisions and contingencies consisting of three items. One, provision for taxation. Number two, provision for bad and doubtful debts. And number three, provision for contingencies. And Roman 3, profit and loss, which is consisting of, first one is net profit for the year, that is deducting expenditure from income, means Roman 1 minus Roman 2 is the net profit for the year. And Roman small b, profit brought forward, that is opening balance sheet of profit and loss account, which is generally taken from trial balance. Total of this is profit and loss account. This total profit, net profit for the year and opening balance of profit and loss account, both total of these two items is appropriated under the head appropriations. Number one, transfer to stat reserve 20% of net profit, just I have discussed in detail in our earlier period. Transfer to other reserves, proposed final interim dividend, any dividend it appears in any part of the problem, we have to show here. And second, if it is appearing in the adjustments, the second effect is to be given in schedule number 5. And last one is very important, that balance carried over to balance sheet. This figure is necessary to be shown. It is to be carried to balance sheet. And in reserves and surpluses, schedule number 2, we have to show this item in reserves and surplus as last item, profit and loss account into bracket balance. This only when we show this balance in reserves and surpluses, the balance sheet will be tallied. Okay, now let's we discuss in detail the all schedules, 16 schedules. Schedule number 1, share capital, which is consisting of number 1, authorized capital. Authorized capital is the capital with which the company, the banking company has registered with the Banking Regulation Act, under the Banking Regulation Act. Means maximum amount of capital which a banking company can raise at any time during the lifetime of the banking company is called authorized capital. And issued capital and subscribed capital is a part of authorized capital which has actually been issued to the public for subscription. And the issued and subscribed capital is shown under the head issued and subscribed capital. And called up and paid up capital is a part of issued and subscribed capital which has actually been called up. For example, suppose a banking company is having 50 lakhs authorized capital, and 50 lakhs capital, authorized capital is the maximum capital which generally a bank requires during the lifetime of the banking company. And it is not necessary in the initial stages of a banking company to raise 50 lakhs as capital. So for initial purpose, for initial 2-3 years, if it requires only 25 lakhs of share capital, then the banking company issues 25 lakhs to the public for subscription. That is, authorized capital is 50 lakhs, issued capital is 25 lakhs. And when issued 25 lakhs of share capital, it may happen that all shares may not be sold. So let's we hope that it is fully sold, that is 25 lakhs is fully sold. Therefore we have to show issued and subscribed capital is 25 lakhs. And when we called up and paid up. Share amount is called in at the time of share application money, allotment money, first call, second call, and final call. So total amount out of 25 lakhs, if we have called 20 lakhs, this 20 lakhs is to be shown under called up and paid up capital, uh, from which calls in arrears, when we make calls to our shareholders to make payment of share capital, and if some of the shareholders fail to pay the share capital or call amounts, then this unpaid call amounts are called as calls in arrears, and these calls in arrears are to be deducted from called up and paid up capital. Add forfeited shares. Whenever any shareholder defaults in making payment of call amount or share capital amount, called up amount, then after giving proper notices and proper opportunities, once, twice, or thrice, then also he has not paid any amount, then just the banks forfeit the shares, cancel the shares, and whatever the amount has already paid by those shareholder is forfeited, and this forfeited amount is added to the called up and paid up capital. And last one is calls in advance. Sometimes some shareholders who are having ample capital funds with them, they may pay advance. If we call first, if we send a notice to make payment of first call, some people may, along with first call, they may pay in advance second and final call. Thus, any amount received in advance, even if we have not made calls, but the shareholders paid in advance, this advance calls amount received is added to called up and paid up capital. This you are very well aware that you have prepared in your second year company corporate final accounts. So it is the same. Only it is important to recall less calls in arrears, add forfeited shares, add calls in advance. These three items are very important. You have to keep in memory very well. Now share capital. First, it is the first item on the liability side of the balance sheet. Second one is reserves and surpluses. Reserve surpluses consisting of statutory reserve fund. Just it is the most important reserve of banking company final accounts. And as we have discussed, first item in appropriation, that every year every bank must transfer 20% of net profit to statutory reserve fund. In profit and loss account, Roman for appropriation, first item transfer to statutory reserve 20% of net profit. Thus 20% every year is to be added to statutory reserve fund here in this item. Reserve fund, any other reserve fund, profit and loss account balance, it is repeated last time, same item. Share premium, revenue and other reserves, capital reserve, dividend equalization fund, investment fluctuation fund, and profit and loss account balance brought forward from for appropriation process. This is very important. Every student must be alert to show this amount in reserves and surpluses, then only the balance sheet will be tallied and full marks can be obtained. All these reserves are necessary to be shown under Schedule Q, reserves and surpluses, and total amount is taken to the balance sheet. Schedule number 3, deposits. The basic business of banking is to acceptance of deposits. Means all banks accept deposit from public, and these deposits are of different types. These are current deposit accounts, saving deposit accounts, fixed deposit, double deposit, term deposit, recurring deposit, pigmy deposit, cash certificates, credit balance, certificate of deposit, credit balance, annuity deposits, ordinary deposits, staff deposits, non-recurring deposits, and these are the very important items. Credit balance in cash credit loan account. Sometimes a limit is given to our customer. Say for example, we have given to Ram 5 lakh CC limit, but he has not availed any loan. On the contrary, he has kept his own balance in cash credit account. cash credit is a loan. Loan is it should have necessary debit balance. If this loan account turns into credit balance, this credit balance is to be shown under the head deposits, not under the head advances, schedule number 9. म्हणजे जेव्हा एखाद्या करंट अकाउंटमध्ये कुठलंही क्लायंट त्यांनी समजा कर्ज न घेता त्यांचे स्वतःच्या फंड्स जर कॅश क्रेडिट लोनमध्ये ठेवला असेल तर ते क्रेडिट बॅलन्स होतो आणि हे क्रेडिट बॅलन्स डिपॉझिटमध्ये दाखवायचं. तसंच ओव्हरड्राफ्ट अकाउंट. ओव्हरड्राफ्ट इज अ टाईप ऑफ लोन. लोन schedule number 9 advances, but sometimes our customers they do not avail any loan. On the contrary, they keep their own funds with our bank, and this credit balance is called as deposit, and necessarily credit balance in cash credit and overdraft account are to be shown under their deposits. Inoperative or non-operative saving account, current account. Sometimes some saving account holders or current account holders, they do not turn out to the bank and they do not carry on any kind of operation in the bank. If any person do not carry on operation in the saving account or current account for a specified period of time, say 3 months, 6 months or 1 year, then the account will be transferred to a heading inoperative account, means non-operating account. And in future, whenever a customer wants to start operation in this account, he is to seek permission from the bank, and he cannot operate unless until the banking manager or banking authorities authorize to start operation in inoperative accounts. Thus all these items are to be aggregated and this to be shown under the head deposits, schedule number 3. Borrowings means loans and advances taken by the bank from any other banks or financial institutions or Reserve Bank of India or any other agencies. These borrowings are specifically categorized under 3 heads: borrowings in India, borrowings outside India, and loans. Borrowings in India from Reserve Bank of India, all types of loans and advances taken from Reserve Bank of India are to be shown under the head borrowings. If our bank taken any type of loan from any other bank, this also to be shown. From institution, IDBI, ICICI or any LIC or any other institution, if we take any kind of loan, this amount is to be shown under the head of borrowings. From any other agency, all types of loans, borrowings in India or outside India, all are to be shown under borrowings. Now next, other liabilities and provisions. Other liabilities and provisions, generally these are the current liabilities, repayable or payable over a period of next 1 year. First, bills payable. Any type of bills payable by the bank are to be shown under this head. Inter-office adjustment account, or it is called as inter-branch adjustment account. You have to be very much careful about this item because it may be having all branches account, the balance of combined balance of all branches. It may be credit balance or it may be debit balance. If the inter-office adjustment account is having credit balance, we have to show in schedule number 5. On the contrary, inter-office adjustment account or inter-branch adjustment account is having debit balance, we have to show in other assets, schedule number 11. So this item is very important. You have to be recalled, you have to be memorize this amount, you have to be very much careful about giving effect to this adjustment in the problem. Credit balance is to be shown in schedule number 5, debit balance is to be shown in schedule number 11, other assets. Interest accrued on deposits means interest payable on deposits. Pension and insurance fund of the staff and others. When at the time of retirement of the staff, we have to make payment of pension and insurance. All amounts payable to the staff are clubbed together and this amount is shown. Other liabilities, pension and insurance fund payable. Unclaimed dividend, unpaid dividend. When we declare dividend, some of the shareholders may not come to the bank and collect the amount. This unencashed dividend is called as unclaimed dividend or unpaid dividend, and these shareholders may come at any time in the bank and they demand for the payment of dividend, and we have to make payment of dividend. Rebate on bills discounted or unexpired discount or discount received on advance. This is one of the most important adjustment in the problem banking company final accounts. It is rebate on discount means discount received on advance means advance discount received. This discount received pertaining to the next year is shown in this head. Provision for taxation, the any amount of tax to be paid on the income earned during the current year is provided, and this amount is to be paid at the time of filing the income tax return of the bank. Proposed dividend, and at the end of the year, if the directors propose any dividend, 10% dividend, 15% dividend, this proposed dividend is to be shown under the head other liabilities and provisions, and immediately in the next year we have to make payment of this dividend to the shareholders. Outstanding expenses, salary outstanding, rent outstanding, or any type of outstanding expenses, repairs outstanding, all types of outstanding expenses are shown in other liabilities and provisions. Staff security deposit, sometimes if a cashier is to be appointed in our bank, and as a matter of safety we demand security deposit from the concerned staff, and this security deposit shown under the head other liabilities. Margin deposit, sometimes when we advance the loan to any, suppose we have sanctioned a loan of rupees 5 lakhs to a customer to purchase a car of rupees 7 lakhs, and 2 lakhs is the margin of the borrower and 5 lakhs is the loan amount, then we ask the borrower to deposit 2 lakhs his own margin in the bank, and our loan amount 5 lakhs plus his margin 2 lakhs, 7 lakhs directly we remit to the car supplier. म्हणजे जेव्हा एखादी कारसाठी 5 लाख रुपये आपण कर्ज दिलो आणि ॲक्च्युअली कारचा किंमत 7 लाख असेल, तर कर्जदाराला आपण पहिल्यांदा ते त्यांची स्वतःचे जे मार्जिन 2 लाख ते बँकेत डिपॉझिट करायला सांगतो, आणि आपण मंजूर केलेले 5 लाख आणि त्याचे स्वतःच्या मार्जिन 2 लाख असं 7 लाख रुपये ते कार सप्लायर, मोटर कार सप्लायरला देतो, ते मोटर कार विकणारा ते ऑटोमोबाईल डीलरला देतो. म्हणजे हे मार्जिन डिपॉझिट, म्हणजे आपण कुठलेही बँक 100% कर्ज कुणालाही देत नाही. कुठले समजा तुम्हाला 1 लाख रुपयाचे एखादं मशीन खरेदी करायचं असेल तर बँक 1 लाख रुपये कधी देत नाही. जनरली तुम्हाला 25,000 रुपये तुमच्या स्वतःचे असते, 75,000 रुपये बँक कर्ज देते. हे 25,000 तुमचे जे ओन मार्जिन आहे त्याला मार्जिन डिपॉझिट म्हणतात. सनरी क्रेडिटर्स, कुठलेही जनरल सनरी क्रेडिटर्स परचेस केला, आपण स्टेशनरी परचेस केला आणि त्यांना पैसे द्यायचे आहे, शेवटी एक 10,000च्या म्हणजे प्रिंटिंग स्टेशनरी खरेदी केला आणि 31 मार्चपर्यंत आपण त्याला पैसे दिला नसेल तर दॅट इज सनरी क्रेडिटर्स, दॅट इज टू बी शोन अंडर दॅट अदर लायबिलिटीज. लायबिलिटीज सबसिडी कंपनी, आपल्यापेक्षा म्हणजे आपल्या सबसिडी कंपनी, होल्डिंग कंपनी सबसिडी कंपनी असतात. ज्या कंपनीच्या शेअर्समध्ये 51% शेअर्स आपण खरेदी करतो ते सबसिडी कंपनी. आपला समजा आपण ABC कंपनीचा 51% शेअर्स खरेदी केला असेल तर ABC कंपनी आपला सबसिडरी आहे, आणि त्या असं सबसिडी कंपनीला आपण काही रक्कम द्यायची असेल तर ते इथं दाखवायचं. आणि शेवटी कॉन्टिन्जन्सीज अकाउंट, आपण जे रोमन 2 मध्ये प्रोव्हिजन्स अँड कॉन्टिन्जन्सीमध्ये थर्ड आयटम प्रोव्हिजन फॉर कॉन्टिन्जन्सी आपण दाखवलेलं आहे. आता हे प्रोव्हिजन फॉर कॉन्टिन्जन्सी तिथं ॲडजस्टमेंटमध्ये असेल, कुठल्या प्रकारचे तरतूद करायचे असेल तर पहिला प्रोव्हिजन्स अँड कॉन्टिन्जन्सी दाखवायचं आणि सेकंड इफेक्ट अदर लायबिलिटीज अँड प्रोव्हिजन्स. दीज आर द 2 इफेक्ट्स. Now total of these items, all items are to be taken to the balance sheet and to be shown under the head other liabilities and provisions, schedule number 5. 6 cash. Now from 6 to 11 all are assets and all are generally having debit balance. So 6th schedule is cash and balance with RBI, means cash in hand and balance with RBI. These 2 items are to be shown under the head cash and balance with RBI. Cash in hand including foreign currency notes we have to take, and balance with RBI. Balance with RBI may be on current account, recurring deposit account, or on deposit account, or term deposit account, or any type of deposits kept with RBI are to be shown in balance with RBI. Thus, in schedule number 6, cash and balance with RBI is consisting of 2 items: cash in hand and balance with RBI. 7. Balance with banks, money at call and short notice. Balance with banks in current accounts, in other deposit accounts. Whenever we open a account with any other bank and in current account or other deposit account, these balances are to be shown in schedule number 7. Money at call and short notice. Sometimes money at call, when within 24 hours, whenever we call for making a payment of our balance, within 24 hours we can be able to collect our money. That is called as 24 money at call. And short notice, by giving a short notice of 7 days, we get our funds back from other institutions or banks. This short notice, this all balances with banks money at call and short notice with other banks are clubbed together and to be shown under schedule number 7. Schedule number 8, investments. Investments in government securities. Whenever a bank invests in any government securities, all these investments are to be shown under schedule number 8. Shares of other company. Whenever a banking company, our bank invests in the shares of any other company, we purchase the shares of any others. Suppose we purchase the shares of TCI, Tata Consultancy Limited, TCL. These shares are to be shown here. Debentures of any other company, bonds of any other company or Reserve Bank of India, treasury certificate of any other banks or Reserve Bank of India. Now gold is a precious metal and must be shown in investment. Whereas silver is, even if it is equally precious metal, it is not to be shown in schedule number 8. Silver is to be shown in schedule number 11 other assets, whereas gold is to be shown in schedule number 8. म्हणजे गोल्ड आणि सिल्वर दोन्ही मौल्यवान वस्तू आहेत आपल्या, तरी सुद्धा गोल्ड फक्त इन्व्हेस्टमेंटमध्ये दाखवायचा आणि सिल्वर अदर असेट्समध्ये दाखवायचा, हे लक्षात ठेवा. ट्रस्टी सिक्युरिटी, कमर्शियल पेपर्स अँड अदर इन्स्टिट्यूशन्स, इन्व्हेस्टमेंट इन सबसिडरी कंपनीज इफ डेबिट बॅलन्स, इथं सबसिडरी कंपनीमध्ये डेबिट बॅलन्स असेल तर इन्व्हेस्टमेंट दाखवायचा, क्रेडिट बॅलन्स असेल तर 5 नंबर अदर लायब्ररीजमध्ये दाखवायचा, कॅश सर्टिफिकेट डेबिट बॅलन्स असेल तर इन्व्हेस्टमेंट, क्रेडिट असेल तर deposits. Now all these investments are shown under the head investment schedule number 8. Schedule number 9 is most important schedule in the bank. It is having 3 parts, A, B, C. A consisting basically total types of advances. All types of advances are clubbed in 3 categories. First one, bills purchased and discounted. Second, cash credits, overdrafts and loans repayable on demand. And third one is term loans. All types of loans are clubbed or categorized in 3 heads only. And all these loans are shown here under these 3 heads. And these 3 heads are classified based on security taken while granting the loan. Means security wise classification of all these loans. Say for example, this total loans taken together is 100 crores. 100 crores loans are classified security wise, secured by tangibles. Out of 100 crores, if we have given 70 crores taking tangible assets as security, means we have to show here 70 lakhs. Sometimes 20 crores are covered by bank and other government guarantee. Sometimes other banks gives us guarantee and government also gives us guarantee. For example, समजा आपल्या एखाद्या कस्टमरला रोड कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट मिळाले PWD डिपार्टमेंटकडून, समजा 1 कोटी रुपयाचे कर्ज आपल्याला द्यायचं आहे, तर त्यांना कर्ज आपल्याला देताना PWD म्हणजे पब्लिक फर्स्ट डिव्हिजन गव्हर्नमेंट डिपार्टमेंट आहे, ते आपल्याला गॅरंटी देते आणि जर गॅरंटी दिला तर त्यांना आपण कर्ज देतो. समटाइम्स इतर बँका आपल्याला गॅरंटी देतात, इतर बँकाची गॅरंटी आणि गव्हर्नमेंटची गॅरंटी घेऊन दिलेल्या खर्चाला कव्हर्ड बाय बँक अँड गव्हर्नमेंट गॅरंटी असे म्हणतात. अँड लास्ट वन इज अनसेक्युअर्ड. the total means आता out of 100 crores 70 crores loans are given by taking tangible asset security and 20 crores given by taking guarantee of other banks and government and the remaining 10 crores are unsecured. Thus total loans are classified under three categories: secured by tangible asset, covered by bank and government guarantee, and secured. And again, these total 100 crores advances are classified in India and outside India. Suppose in India 80 crores are there, outside India 20 crores. 80 crores in India, outside India 20 crores. In India again 80 crores advances are classified under 4 categories. That is priority sector, public sector, banks, others. Priority sector is generally agricultural, industry, productive purpose whenever we give loan, that is categorized under the head priority sector. Public sector, generally irrigation purpose, road construction purpose, electricity generation, it's generally to the government, public sector purpose. Banks, whenever we give loans to other banks and others, apart from this in India, 80 crores and outside India 20 crores due from banks, due from others. Thus, this advances sometimes a short question of 7 marks is asked on this only one schedule. So, you study carefully, you recall, you memorize all this carefully because A consisting of all types of loans, B this suppose just as I have told 100 crores total loans are there. This total 100 crores are classified security wise. Secured by tangible assets 70 crores, covered by bank guarantee 20 crores and unsecured 10 crores, 100 crores. Advance in India 80 crores, advance outside India 20 crores, total 100 crores. Priority wise, priority sector, public sector, banks, others, and advance outside India, due from banks, due from others. Thus, these advances is the one of the most important schedule in the bank final accounts. Fixed assets, schedule number 10, premises, plant and machinery, furniture, fixtures, motor vehicles, and other assets. You are very well aware and not to be discussed in detail because it is old method, old adjustments. The only depreciation is to be deducted from these premises, plant and machinery, and depreciation is to be shown in schedule number 16. Other assets, inter-office adjustment account, inter-branch adjustment account, debit balance. If inter-office adjustment account, inter-branch adjustment account is having debit balance, then it is to be shown under the head other assets. Inter-office means all balance, total balance of all branches taken together. If it is credit balance, we have to show in schedule number 5, and if it is debit balance, we have to show under the head other assets, schedule number 11. Okay, this is very important adjustment, important item. You have to keep in memory perfectly. Interest accrued on investment, whenever any investment interest on investment is accrued, outstanding, not received, receivable, it is to be shown under the head other assets. Advance tax, income tax, self assessment tax, regular tax, any type of income tax paid is to be shown in schedule number 11 other assets. TDS, tax deducted source, this also current year, relating to current year, is shown in other assets. Non-banking assets, whenever a bank seizes asset, forfeits asset, जप्त केलेले asset, म्हणजे whenever any borrower defaults in making payment of loan and interest, when and on his default we seize the asset. These seized assets are shown in other assets. Library books, provident fund investment. Silver is a precious metal, is to be shown, necessary to be shown in other assets, whereas gold is shown in investment, schedule number 8. Loans to employees, all types of loans, temporary loans given to employees is shown in other assets. Expenses paid in advance, prepaid insurance, prepaid expenses are to be shown in schedule number 11. Schedule number 12, contingent liability. Sometimes short note is asked for 5 marks or 7 marks. You have to memorize all these 6 items. Number 1, claims against the bank not acknowledged as debt. Claim, suppose if we removed an employee, a mischievous employee from our bank, आपला एक खोडकर कर्मचारी असेल तर जबरदस्ती काढून टाकला आणि काढून टाकल्यामुळे त्यांनी बँक कोर्टात गेला आणि एक 10 लाख रुपयाच्या नुकसान भरपाईचा दावा दाखल केला बँकेविरुद्ध आणि 31 मार्च 2020ला ते कोर्टाचा निर्णय लागलेला नाही आहे. पुढे भविष्यामध्ये कधी कोर्टाचा निर्णय आपल्या बाजूने लागला तर त्या कर्मचाऱ्याला कुठली रक्कम देणे लागत नाही. या विरुद्ध कर्मचारी जिंकला तर आपल्याला 10 लाख रुपये द्यावे लागतात. म्हणजे हे इट इज अ कॉन्टिजेंट लायबिलिटी डिपेंडिंग अपॉन हॅपनिंग ऑर नॉन हॅपनिंग ऑफ फ्युचर इव्हेंट. पुढे भविष्यात घडणारे किंवा न घडणारे एखादी घटनावर आधारित जे लायबिलिटी आहे त्याला कॉन्टिजेंट लायबिलिटी म्हणतात. म्हणजे हे भविष्यातला म्हणजे कोर्टाचा निर्णय आपल्या बँकेच्या बाजूने लागला तर ते कर्मचाऱ्याला कुठल्या प्रकारचे नुकसान भरपाई द्यावा लागणार नाही. ऑन द कॉन्ट्ररी, जर कोर्टाचा निर्णय त्या ठराविक कर्मचाऱ्याच्या बाजूने लागला तर आपल्याला ते 10 लाख रुपये त्याच्या नुकसान भरपाई द्यावा लागतो. म्हणजे हे कॉन्टिंजेंट लायबिलिटी डिपेंडिंग अपॉन हॅपनिंग ऑर नॉन हॅपनिंग ऑफ अ फ्युचर इव्हेंट. नेक्स्ट, liabilities on partly paid shares. म्हणजे partly paid shares, debentures. Sometimes when we invest in shares and debentures of other company, and uncalled amount is called as contingent liability, because any time whenever other company in which we have invested shares and debentures makes final call or calls, then only we have to pay them. Means this, whether this partly paid shares amount is to be paid or not to be paid depending upon happening or non happening of a future event, there is calls made by that company. Whenever any emergency funds emergency arises with that company, at that time only the company calls for making payment of uncalled amount, and at that time we have to make the payment. Liability on account of forward exchange contract. Sometimes we enter into a contract making forward exchange rupees into dollar, and now and then every day the value of the rupee against dollar changes. Suppose now it is 75 rupees per dollar. Suppose we contracted to make payment of $1,000 after 1 month. After 1 month, it may happen that some amount is to be paid, extra amount or lower amount. It means it depends upon the forward exchange contract. Future amount contracts are to be shown under that contingent liability, because if any amount excess of rupee value increases, we will gain, or rupee value decreases, we have to make payment. There is a liability. Guarantees given on behalf of constituents. Whenever the bank gives guarantee to any of the other banks or any other parties on behalf of our constituents, our customers or our other companies, then on happening or non-happening of future events means whenever we give a guarantee on behalf of our customer, and if the customer fails to honor his promise, at that time only we are to make payment of that guarantee amount. For example, समजा आपल्याला आपला कस्टमर एक रामू रमेश हे कस्टमर आहे. त्यांनी रोड कॉन्ट्रॅक्टसाठी त्यांनी 1 कोटी रुपयाचा कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट घेतला, आणि 1 कोटीचा त्यांनी गॅरंटी आपण ते गव्हर्नमेंटला त्या रमेशच्या वतीने आपण दिलो, आणि रमेशने जर समजा त्यांनी काही काम व्यवस्थित केलं नाही, तर ते त्या गव्हर्नमेंट आपल्याला ते कॉल करते गॅरंटीचा, तेव्हा आपण त्या गव्हर्नमेंटला गॅरंटीचा रक्कम द्यावा लागतो. जनरली असं कधी होत नाही. Whenever any customer fails to honor the promise, fails to fulfill the terms and conditions of the contract, at that time only we have to make payment of guarantee. And this depends whether this is a liability or not a liability, depends upon the happening of non happening of future event. This fulfillment of terms and conditions of the contract by the customer. So this is a guarantee given by the given on behalf of constituents is contingent liability. You have to memorize properly. Acceptances, endorsements, and other obligations. We give the benefit of our credit to our customers. We accept bills on behalf of the customer. Just I have told, whenever one of our customer, say Mr. X, he purchased 1 crore machinery from America, and he accept a bill of rupees 1 crore. If the American party will not accept the bill of accepted by the party, but he insisted, the American party insists to accept to send a bill accepted by any bank, and we give credit of our bank to our customer, and we accept a bill on behalf of our customer, 2 months bill. Means after 2 months our customer makes payment of that 1 crore of machinery in our he deposits in our bank, and we remit that amount to the foreign supplier. That is acceptances, endorsement, other obligations, and this is a contingent liability. After 2 months, if this X party fails to make the payment of 1 crore of machinery, then our bank is to pay 1 crore to the foreign supplier, and we have to take the delivery of machinery. That means it is a contingent liability. म्हणजे ते कस्टमरने समजा 2 महिन्यानंतर आपल्याला पैसे दिले नाही, तर आपण मात्र ते फॉरेन अमेरिकेमधल्या पार्टीला आपण बिल ॲक्सेप्ट केलेलं आहे,
आपल्याला मग चुकत नाही, ते कस्टमर चुकू शकतो, पण आपला बँक चुकू शकत नाही. बँकेने 1 कोटी रुपये कंपल्सरी त्या फॉरेन पार्टीला द्यावं लागतं आणि त्या मशिनरीची डिलिव्हरी घ्यावं लागतं. म्हणजे हे कधी आपल्याला कधी द्यावं लागतं, जेव्हा आपला जे एक्स पार्टी आहे तो जर पैसे दिला नाही तर होतो. हे असं फार क्वचित होतात बरं का. 99.99% केसेसमध्ये जेव्हा बँका आपल्या पार्टीच्या वतीने बिल ॲक्सेप्ट करताना त्या पार्टी संबंधी पूर्ण खात्री करून घेतात आणि पार्टीचं काही रक्कम आपण डिपॉझिट घेतो, सिक्युरिटी घेऊनच आपण ॲक्सेप्ट करतो. त्यामुळे असं कोणी ऐरागैरा, कोणी म्हणजे ज्यांच्या कुठल्या प्रकारचे पत नाही, क्रेडिट नाही, ते असल्या कुठल्याही पार्टीचा आपण वतीने आपण कुठले बँक ॲक्सेप्ट करत नाही. पण चांगला एकदम सॉलिड फायनान्शियली स्ट्रॉंग पार्टी, फायनान्शियली व्हेरी हेल्दी पार्टी जी आहे त्यांच्या वतीनेच आपण ॲक्सेप्ट करतो. शेवटचा अदर आयटम्स फॉर विच द बँक इज कॉन्टिन्युएटली लायबल. हे 6 आयटम्स व्यवस्थित पाठ करा. अँड बाय शेड्यूल नंबर 12 बॅलन्स शीट इज ओव्हर. पुढच्या पिरियडला आपण अभ्यास करू. 13 नंबर शेड्यूल, 14, 15 आपण पुढच्या पिरियड